Boston Celtics get a much-needed, easy win. Jaylen Brown, absolutely dominant. I'm going to talk about it right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. B-Town, be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Back to back if I say it is stamped. Locked on number 19, the best one, the next one. Juice loose in your pool now for the next run. It's the C's, who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis, recap the madness. Every game, every practice. Best daily pod, no cap like Brad Beckett. Clutch like Drew to KP, tap in daily. Primetime dapping D White on the sideline. Raining Jace, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and I got you covered Monday through Friday. Bonus podcast when they play on the weekend. Was a little bit different schedule this week, but I'm here for you with your fifth podcast of the week here at the TD Garden in one of the back rooms as the basketball gets turned into hockey so the Bruins can have their fun over here after the Celtics dominated, absolutely destroyed the Indiana Pacers. Make sure you're subscribed. Get the show on YouTube. Get the show on your favorite audio app. Make sure you're downloading it every day, watching it every day. Make it your first listen. I'm John Karalis. If you're new to the show, I have been covering the team for about 20 years, doing it right now as a beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. You can find my work there. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase of tickets, last-minute tickets, whatever it is. Use that Game Time app. The Boston Celtics getting the easy 142-105 win. Basically wire-to-wire, sort of wire-to-wire. There's a little bit back and forth in the first quarter. Like the tiniest little critique in the first quarter was that they weren't getting a bunch of they were allowing too many offensive rebounds. Once they cleaned that little bit up in the first quarter, rocket ship off to the moon behind Jaylen Brown. 15 points in the first quarter, completely dominant, did not miss a shot. We'll talk about the other guys later on, Tatum, Pritchard, Horford, those guys. I'll give the Pacers the requisite amount of this wasn't their best night and probably was never going to be their best night. I'll talk about the Celtics' effort in just a second, but it was Jaylen Brown's night. We haven't seen first quarter Jaylen in a long time, and I know that he's been dealing with the off-court stuff. Somebody's tried to break into his mother's house. Someone that is a tough thing to deal with. Your mother's security, your family's security, this, being targeted because you are who you are and you make the money you make, and people know that you are, people know your schedule, and it's very daunting. So I know that Jaylen's had a tough time with all of that. At the same time, there's on-court stuff. There's, trying to be the defensive player that he wants to be and trying to just do all of this stuff and still be a dominant offensive player within this new kind of role in terms of the new sub pattern where he doesn't get to play the whole first quarter as much, although he did in this game. It's been a little bit of an adjustment for him. And it's kind of funny. After I expressed yesterday the not concern, but like in trying to determine this December kind of little dip that they were in, trying to determine whether this was a, from the pessimist view, from the optimist view, that I expressed a little bit, a tiny bit of like, hey, Jaylen is shooting poorly from the field this season. And, it's something just to keep an eye on. Well, in this one, like immediately after I do that, he shoots almost 60%, 67% overall. He shoots 54.5% from 3, 6 of 11, perfect 6 of 6 from the line, 44 points, a team best plus 30, 4 steals, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. Just an absolute dominant night from Jaylen. That, just like we were talking about the Jason night the other night, this was a dominant night without dominating the ball. I never thought oh, wow, Jaylen is really, really going for his. He's really, really trying. I mean, there were a couple of possessions maybe in the fourth quarter where it was obvious the game was way out of reach. And maybe Jaylen was going for, hey, let's see if I can drop a 50 piece real quick, which is, not a big deal. I think most NBA players will tell you, if you have an outside shot, if you think you can drop 50 and the coach is letting you stay in the game, sure, why not? Go for that 50. He didn't get there, and I don't think he really, really was trying to do everything he could to get there. But what a great night overall for Jaylen. Just an incredible night, start to finish. The defensive stuff was just as good. So 15-point first quarter. The game was basically over after the first quarter, even though it wasn't, no game is over after the first quarter. You just knew the Pacers didn't have it. But in the second quarter, there was a little bit, just the tiniest bit of back and forth. And then Jaylen, with about 6.5 minutes to go, somewhere in that range, about 6 minutes to go, Jaylen, shout out to whoever just came in through that back door. You're going to see it on the YouTube page. I think it's some of the staff here that's probably upset that I'm using one of these back rooms to do my podcast. But anyway, a 31-second stretch in the middle of the second quarter where Jaylen gets the poster dunk, a transition layup, and then the steal and windmill dunk, kind of like when the Rottweiler walks into the play group and is like, announces himself like, hey, by the way, I'm here, I'm in charge, just in case any of y'all thought that maybe you're getting some ideas of trying to step up. No. I got this. That was a loud 6 points to go along with one of Jaylen's 4 steals. 40 points and 4 steals for the Celtics. Larry Bird has done it 5 times. Antoine Walker did it once, interestingly, and now Jaylen Brown has done it. That's your list. Just what can you say? Jaylen needed this night. Jaylen needed to have a night where he came in and felt it. He caught a rhythm. Credit to Joe Mazzulla for riding out. I think that first quarter, he wouldn't say it after the game. All he would say was, sometimes you got to change this. You got to change your substitution pattern so other teams can't, time what you're going to do and kind of sub accordingly, which may well be true. But at the same time, I think he did kind of ride the hot hand. He did kind of ride Jaylen and Jayson. Jayson played well too, but it was all about Jaylen and letting Jaylen kind of ride out that whole first quarter. It was funny. Jayson subbed out with like 3 seconds to go, started the second quarter. Jaylen came in for him quickly, and then Jayson came back in and they finished the half. But Jaylen needed this type of game, shooting well, defending well, playing well, not pressing, playing to the crowd, all of this. This was a perfect Jaylen Brown game, and the Celtics needed him to have one. He needed to have one, and he got one. He said after the game, the Pacers kind of bring out that style. They play a style that he said it's a style that I love and allows him to be aggressive, allows to attack. He loves playing the Pacers. I'm sure people who might be Pacers fans listening to this might not be thrilled to hear how much Jaylen Brown loves playing the Pacers, but there it is. So awesome night for Jaylen Brown. The Celtics needed this night too. The Celtics needed this kind of performance as well. And I'll talk about it when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. It is the place to go to get your tickets to whatever you're looking to get. I've used Game Time. My wife has used Game Time to get tickets. She bought Patriots tickets as a gift through the Game Time app. Very simple. Game Time Picks makes getting those tickets to live events. And it doesn't have to be sports. It could be a comedy show, a concert, a play, a musical, whatever. If it's being sold online, there's a good chance you're going to find it over there at Game Time. And Game Time Picks filters out the fluff, so you're just going to get the incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. Make sure you're toggling on the all-in pricing feature. That shows you the total up front, no surprise fees at checkout. You'll get seat views, the panoramic view as you're scrolling through, so you can see what you're going to see. That's important. So you know if you're getting a good seat, a seat that you're comfortable with. And the lowest price guarantee means you're always paying the best price, because they will give you back 110% of the difference. They will credit you 110% of the difference if you find that ticket somewhere else for less. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Make sure you're redeeming the code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKED, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Today's show also brought to you by Rocket Money. I was just talking to my wife about all of the subscriptions that we had, and she said to me, I swear we have overlapping subscriptions. And this is a great time to make sure that we're using the Rocket Money app, because she's probably paying for a streaming service that when we got our house, I just put all of mine on. Lord knows what she's paying for. So what Rocket Money can do is track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel these unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions or spending habits or the goals that you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. So you can do the subscription tracker that can cancel these services that we're not using anymore. So that'll save you a ton. The goals feature can automatically set aside money for the future, so you don't have to stress about budgeting. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions. Reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/locked-on today. That's rocketmoney.com/locked-on. rocketmoney.com/locked-on. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Hey, if you see two podcasts on the audio feed, that's Locked On Celtics postcast. Steve Lennox has the postcast for you. He goes live on Locked On Sports Boston right after the game. Then when that's done, the audio is uploaded to the Locked On Celtics audio feed. So you're going to find two podcasts on the audio feed. Locked On Sports Boston has his video podcast. Locked On Celtics YouTube page has my video podcast. Two options, making sure that you're fully covered after games. So make sure you're checking both of them out. The Celtics needed this game as much as Jaylen Brown needed this game, because look, I had just done a podcast about the pessimistic and optimistic and how, people concerned about this dip, and people want to pounce on like the Celtics because frankly, they are devoid of real interesting storylines. They don't have a Jimmy Butler situation. They don't have LeBron James, who's always drawing attention. They don't have they don't even have like a character. Like they don't have a guy like Draymond Green who's doing things that make us laugh or cringe or something. They are like the most professional, straightforward. Nothing bothers them. Wins don't get them going too crazy. Losses don't get them going too crazy. Joe Mazzulla might be the most interesting guy on the team, and that's saying something. So yeah, the Celtics, when you're that just I guess robotic is, and I say this in a complimentary way. When you're robotic, when you're just like, hey man, we're good. We're trying to be good. Yeah. Every so often human nature takes hold, but we're a good team. We're trying to be a good team and we're being professional, and that's it. No distractions, no nothing. Well, when you hit a little bit of a skid like this, people pounce on it because like, hey, something to talk about. So I think that was definitely something at play here, but the Celtics came in. Jaylen addressed this after the game. No one asked him about Christmas. He said it on his own, that he said, we didn't play well on Christmas and we let our fans down at home. I think he caught like a lot of that flack and saw it, because it was definitely floating out there that Christmas Day, fans probably gave like their kids, hey, here's Christmas Day tickets. Merry Christmas. Let's go watch the Celtics play. Celtics Philly. You expect a good game. You expect a better effort. And Jaylen said flatly, we didn't put our best foot forward on Christmas Day. So we wanted to come out here and give a better effort, which is great acknowledgement, right? At least the players are aware of that. And that's important. Like, you don't want them to just be oblivious to it. So they were aware of it. They processed it, and they wanted to deliver, and they did. They were much more connected. I saw the communication on the floor. I saw things like scram switches where, there's a mismatch and, small on a big, and the big, like Luke Cornett came over and, pointed like, Derek White, get out this way, or Payton Pritchard, you go that way. And the communication is better. The closeouts were better. Like these little things that I noticed. Derek White in the third quarter, maybe, I think Benedict Mathurin had the ball, got the ball in the corner. Derek White comes flying out to the corner, but then stops, disciplined, gets up into the airspace, but doesn't get beat. One thing that the Celtics have been doing a lot of this year is biting on fakes or flying past players, and it hasn't been the most disciplined closeouts I've ever seen in my life. This game was much more disciplined. Just they were together. They executed well. Their spacing was generally good. Their defense was generally good. So it was the type of performance, type of effort that you really needed to see from these guys. Especially, look, the Pacers were missing a bunch of guys. Obi Toppin sprained his ankle. Andrew Nembhard was out. Aaron Nesmith was out. And I tweeted that, I put it out on Blue Sky, and get the typical responses of like, oh, well, that means the Celtics are going to struggle. And I can understand why people say that, right? This is a team where, like, last year they didn't fall into these habits, but this year they're kind of doing that a little bit more, where, okay, Pacers coming in on a back-to-back, they're shorthanded, and the Celtics can be like, we got this. No worries, man. We got it. So, but they didn't do that. They came out, maybe, like I said before, the rebounding wasn't great in the first 4 minutes of the game, 5 minutes of the game. I mean, hardly, when I bring that up, it's not to be like critical, just to say, like, they started out maybe a little bit, not disjointed, but they weren't doing the little things, and they cleaned that up pretty quickly. And once they cleaned that up, like I said before, it just took off. This was never in doubt. Pacers, look, I'm going to give them a pass here. And this is why I think we talk about losses that the Celtics should flush. In a way, this is a win that the Celtics should flush. I'll talk about that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL regular season is, nope, I'm sorry. Today's show is, let's just go FanDuel. The NFL regular season is here and just about wrapping up. And you can get a $250 bonus over at FanDuel by going to FanDuel.com and signing up. If you're a new customer, you may place your first $5 bet, and that first $5 bet can get you $250 in bonus bets. So go to FanDuel.com right now, check it out, and maybe you can have some fun with an extra $250 in bonus bets. It's FanDuel.com. Make sure you're using the tools that they have to set your budget, and enjoy it over there at FanDuel.com. Today's show also brought to you by Robinhood and Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25 APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Make sure you're signed up for our new newsletter, LockedOnDaily.com. Go to LockedOnDaily.com. Free newsletter 5 days a week. Celtics coverage, NBA coverage, fantasy coverage, and links to some of the best content out there for Celtics fans. It's LockedOnDaily.com for the new free Locked On Celtics newsletter. All right, let's give the Pacers a little bit of an out here. They came in off a back-to-back, a tough back-to-back. They played hard. They lost at home. That was a rough one. And then they come in here. Like I said, they had a bunch of injuries. They didn't have Nembhard. They didn't have Nesmith. They didn't have Obi Toppin. And so on top of all of that, on the back-to-back, they were shorthanded, and it just didn't really work for them. Miles Turner gave them nothing. Ben Shepherd gave them nothing. Tyrese Halliburton, I said this on last night's Locked On NBA Game Night podcast. What the hell has happened to Tyrese Halliburton? What's going on with him? A year ago, this was the up and coming superstar. The NBA Cup was his coming out party. And then he had the hamstring injury against the Celtics, and things have never been the same. The 65 game threshold for awards, I think that ruined him because he tried to come back, and so it hasn't been the same for him since then, and he hasn't been the same this season. He has performed like a superstar once every few weeks, basically, and this was a good game for him, I guess, but not really what they were looking for. And 19 points, 6 of 13 shooting, but that's it. That was the best performance of the night. Pascal Siakam had a stretch where he was good. Mathurin gave them a little something, 18 points. But the Pacers, there's a point there in the third quarter where, people are worried. People are like, oh, let's not screw this up. And I wrote this because I do a live blog of the game on Boston Sports Journal. And I said, I don't believe in jinxes, which I don't. I don't believe that something that I say in the media section is going to have some sort of cosmic effect of, on whatever happens on the floor. That's a very arrogant thing to think that something can say. Like somebody's like, no. I know a lot of people in the world are saying a lot of things about this game right now, but I'm going to pick what John said and cosmically hold that against a team that didn't say anything, but John said it. And so now this is called the jinx. I don't believe in that. So in the third quarter, I said, feel pretty good about this, the Pacers not having it. They don't have a run in them. And nothing about that game made me think that the Celtics were going to give a run, that the Pacers were ready to take advantage of a run. So let's just, when I say the Celtics need to flush this win, take from it what you need to take from it, right? It was good effort, good communication, good defense, discipline, all of that stuff. Very simple. When you do these little things, this attention to detail, that type of stuff is why you win games and why a team like the Boston Celtics can put up 142 points, a season high, hold the Indiana Pacers to 105, and run away with a 40-point win, basically, because you paid attention to the details. You put in the effort where you needed to put the effort. You focused on the things you were supposed to focus on. Jaylen Brown did his thing. Usually one of those two guys is going to do something. The shooting was pretty good, and you ran away with it. Take that. That's your lesson. But don't take from it, we got them now. These aren't the same Pacers. No, because I'm betting that a bunch of these guys are going to come back. We may see Nesmith. I don't know if we're going to see Nembhard. I don't know if Toppin's going to come back. Who knows? But Pacers are going to be rested It's a home. It's 2 games in Boston, so there's no travel. They can relax. They can sleep. They can just kind of get themselves ready. It's going to be a different Pacers team on Sunday. So don't look at this 40-point win and be like, we got them on Sunday, because I can see the Pacers coming out to a big, like 15-point first quarter lead and having us be like, oh, come on. Are we going to really do this again? So that's why I say flush it. Take from it the positives, flush the rest, and come out and focus on that easy stuff again. Focus on the stuff that you know you can do and do it again. Other performances in this game, Jayson Tatum was really good, and 22 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals for him. Just 1 turnover for him, just 1 turnover for Jaylen Brown. This was critical, because the other thing that I was talking about when I was talking about concerns was their turnovers were getting to be like those old bad turnovers. So Tatum just 15 shots in 31.5 minutes. So that was good. 3 of 10 from 3, not a big deal. If you hit one more, it's a 40% shooting night. 5 of 6 from the line. Tatum, sometimes you just got to get out of the way and let Jaylen do his thing, and that's what he did in this game. Al Horford early on, my favorite stat from Al Horford, exactly 20 minutes of play. On a night with no Porzingis, no Drew Holiday, Celtics didn't need Al Horford to do a lot of heavy lifting. 20 minutes for him, 19 minutes from Luke Cornett, and that was all that was necessary. So Horford, nice shooting night, 4 of 8, 3 of 6 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Just a really nice game from him in limited minutes. We loved it. Mwah, chef's kiss. Payton Pritchard, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. So he got back to shooting. He struggled a little bit with the shot. He hit a couple late, but it ends up being a 7 of 16 night overall, 4 of 10. He had five offensive rebounds. He continues inexplicably to be this monster offensive rebound. Now, a couple of them were on his own misses, but he still gets in there for the offensive rebounds. The 10 assists, great. Led the Celtics with 10 assists. He did have 5 fouls. He almost fouled out of the game, but 18 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. Nice bounce back game for Payton Pritchard. And shout out to Jordan Walsh, who in all of this, his performance is going to get a little lost, but he got some early minutes. He did some really nice things, rebounded well, hit his, he missed the 3-pointer at the end, but when it mattered, he was hitting his 3-pointers, played 21 minutes. Like I said, got the early call and was really playing well. His defense was good. He was a participant in the offense. He was a willing shooter. He drove. He did a lot of things. Look, it's a matchup based thing, and he might go 5 games without playing again, and then he might get a call. It's a progression for him. He's still young. He's still learning, but really, really nice to see him hit a couple of shots, take those shots aggressively, not pass those up. So he deserves a lot more. And maybe on Sunday he'll get the call again, and maybe he'll do a lot more. And maybe Sunday post game is going to be the Jordan Walsh story. But for now, he falls behind the much needed win, and the Celtics kind of bouncing back, and Jaylen Brown being amazing. So, but let it not be lost that Jordan Walsh had a really, really nice game. The only negative here, the real negative here, Sam Hauser, 0 of 5 from 3. He needs to start hitting some shots. He's gone 3 games now without hitting a 3-pointer. 0 of 5 in this one, 0 for 1 in the last one, and didn't get a shot in that third game. He hasn't made a 3-pointer since December 15th, and that sounds bad because it's the weird cup schedule, but it's been a while. It's been a minute since he's hit a 3-pointer. I'd like to see Sam Hauser start hitting some 3-pointers. But overall, just a really nice performance from the Celtics. Really good, just across the board performance from them. Now, again, Sunday night, 6:00 game against these same Pacers. I expect it to be a lot different. Maybe they'll win by a lot. Maybe they won't win at all. But I expect it to be a lot different, at least to start. So we'll see. But I will be here. I will be in this building again. Maybe back in this room again to talk about it. Maybe not. Maybe they won't be turning the floor over. Who knows? I don't know what the TD Garden schedule is right now. But I will be here in this building podcasting for you. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're on that audio feed, subscribed. Make sure you're in that YouTube page. Subscribe there, ring the bell, get notified when I drop the new video. Get into the comment section. Share that space with your fellow Celtics fans. It's a great comment section. It's one of the few YouTube comment sections that you can go to and feel safe and feel happy that you're having real basketball discussion with fellow Celtics fans. I love everybody who's in that comment section because it's a great conversation there. So go there. And then I would love it if you give me this one gift this holiday season of sharing the podcast. Spread the word. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.